Okay, so here we are inside Unity, and we're just going to import the asset that we've exported, which is the FBX of the concert chair. So import new asset, and we're going to go to where we have the concert chair, which is here, and it's the FBX, and that's just going to import it as is. It's saying here that the material is using a texture as a normal map. So basically the normal map that we're importing is just a texture, so we have to press fix now to actually change it into a normal map for Unity. So you can uncheck import animation here as it is in the inspector for the concert chair, because there is no animation. We can apply that. The rig type is none, because again there's no animation. And the scale factor, just make sure that that's 1. So that means that it actually imported properly. Remember, we set it on the export to automatic, which means that it's just going to do 1 for 1. So if that's anything different, that means you might have had to go back and reset the X form, or just recheck the export settings as well. So it should be fine anyway if we've done everything correctly up to this point. So that's the materials here. Inside the materials folder you have the concert chair material, which is the normal map applied here, and the actual albedo. And then I have no occlusion map because, like I said, because of the overlay and stuff like that, the occlusion map didn't look the best when I rendered it out, so I just kind of hand drew my own. So you can mess with the smoothness value and the metallic value here to alter what that looks like. Now for some reason, in fact I know exactly why, this diffuse color here, the albedo color, is like a dark grey, and that's because that's the material ball inside 3ds Max. That's the one I was using, which was pretty dark, so if I have to move that up to white to get the actual texture back properly here. So that's just something I was doing inside 3ds Max, so don't worry about that. And then we can have a look here at the concert chair. Inside the assets is coming in here as this prefab. Well, not a prefab, sorry, but this model. So there it is there, and you can see it in the preview window. And then when you drag it in to the scene, it's going to come in like that. Whoops. Let's just go back to that. So that's in there, and if we go to reset it to the center point, just like in Unity, because right now the position is all over the place, if we right click on this cog instead of manually entering 0, if we left click on the cog, we can just go reset, and that'll just reset it to 0, and then we can zoom in on it here, and that's basically what that's going to look like inside Unity. So as you can see inside Unity here, it has the pivot point set as the center of the object. That's because that's the Unity global pivot point. But if I change it to local and the actual pivot, then it's going to be down here, which is what we originally set it at. And as you can see, Y is up, Z is forward, and X is on its own pivot there, or sorry, its own axis. So that's that. And just to check for reference, if we import a capsule, that is going to give us a good indicator as to what the actual human figure will be like, because the scale for this then is 111, which is like 2, 0.5 there, 0.5 there, sorry, 1, 0.5 was pretty much what we said about the human coming in, so that would be grand for that. Like I said, we'll know a lot more once it's actually in the scene, and it'll look against the other furniture and that sort of stuff. But this is the measurements that we've made for a chair, so it actually should work out pretty much perfectly. So the last thing I'm going to show you here now is how to bring this down as a prefab and how to export it from Unity as a Unity package. Okay, so here we are inside Unity, and basically what we're going to do is create a prefab for this concert chair, and then we're going to export it as a Unity package so it can be brought into the main project as is. So the first thing we're going to do, just to keep everything, on the up and up, is create a new folder, and we're going to call it _prefab, and that's going to bring it to the top of the list because it's an underscore, and that also lets me know that they're my prefabs, specifically from anything else that I might import from the Unity packages or from anywhere else outside. So inside the prefabs then, I'm going to grab the concert chair and I'm going to drag it. Actually, before we do that, let's check that it is okay. So it's all here. We have a mesh renderer, which allows us to see it. We have the albedo texture, which has the normal map, the albedo, the metalness, and the smoothness are fine. There's no occlusion map because, again, as we said, I hand drew in an occlusion because stuff was overlapped. Everything seems to be fine, apart from the fact that there is no mesh renderer. Sorry, there is no collider. So people will be able to walk straight through this now if they come up to sit on it. So what we're going to do is add a collider. Here we are. And we're going to add mesh collider because if someone comes up, they want to be able to sit on this chair as opposed to just walking into a square around it or a circle around it or whatever it will be. So that's on it now, and that's based off this mesh, which is the concert chair, which is the one we imported from Max. So as you can see, it's in here now. So that's everything done. So we're going to drag it from the hierarchy into the prefabs folder, and that's going to create a prefab of the concert chair. So this concert chair can now be dragged out anywhere you like, as many times as you like, as the one prefab, and it's just going to make copies of the same thing. Ta-da! So let's delete all them, and let's also delete this. So the concert chair is done. All we want to do now is export it as a Unity package. We go to Assets, Export Package, and from the list we check what we don't want. So we don't want the FBX anymore. We don't want the FBMs, which is the things that were imported with the FBX. What we do want is the material and the concert chair prefab. So we're going to export those as a package, and we're going to just export them, in this case, to the desktop, and we're going to call it concert chair package. No, just concert chair is fine. So you press enter on that, and that is going to export it, and here it is. So I can bring that into any scene now, and it'll look like this, and I can just drag and drop it in wherever I want. And that is basically the process of bringing an idea or a concept of a model, bringing it all the way through 3ds Max into Photoshop, how we would use it there, into Unity, setting it up from 3ds Max to export it into Unity, how you use it in Unity, how you save it as a prefab, and how you export it as a Unity package to be used in any project from now on as it is in here. So that's that, and thanks very much.